So you go to your mother. Mother, can I borrow just one good deed from you? That's all I need to enter Jannah. And then your mother cries and she said, I just saw what happened to you. And I might be falling short myself. I'm not going to put myself in that kind of jeopardy. And your very mother that used to love you, that used to give you anything, will say, oh, I'm sorry. And then she feels bad because she says that, so she's crying, and you're crying, and you can't do anything about it. And you go to a friend, somebody who's your closest buddy, and can I borrow just one? Can we make it happen? Nothing. I can't give you anything. You go to your father, you go to everybody, right? And nobody is willing to give you a single one, and then you go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in total desperation, Ya Allah, I failed. I failed to get it, and then Allah sends you to the fire. This is real, sisters. This is extremely real. So, when I say we are really at a huge disadvantage here, I mean that in a very, very literal sense. So, in my personal opinion, and again to address the sister's point here, what if the amount of good deeds and bad deeds are absolutely the same? They're equivalent to each other. Okay? What's going to happen? The Quran calls these people a very particular term. They call them Ashab al-A'raf, the people of the hills. Why is it the people of the hills? In the Quran there is Surah Al-A'raf in the Quran. The people of the hills are basically the ones whose number of good deeds is equivalent to the number of bad deeds. Okay? And these people will be asked to witness the entire process of judgment standing on the hills that Allah calls Al-A'raf. Alright? Just watching everything. They're neither with the people of Jannah nor with the people of the fire. They're just watching. And again, you think that, okay, watch, alhamdulillah. At least I'll just be watching. Just be chilling. Right? You're not going to be chilling. Because you know what? People will wait for a couple of billion years for the judgment to start. That's the first, humongous experience that we have to go through. Everybody has been resurrected, and we're all standing in that big, huge hall in the divine realm, and we're just waiting for the judgment to start. Okay, inshallah, they'll probably, call it in right now. Okay, 5 years passed. It's going to happen. And then I think you're losing your patience at this point. And then 10 other years pass, and then 50 years, and then 100 years, and then 500 years. Imagine just standing in your spot for 500 years, waiting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to start the process. Have you ever imagined that? If you stand in line for 20 minutes, you get frustrated right away. Imagine if you're standing and you have, forgive me, naked people around you all over the place, almost touching, and everybody's sweating, and it smells terrible, right? And you can't even move because it's so crowded, you can't even take one step, and you're just squeezed like this for 500, 600, 5,000 years, whatever it is. Okay? It's so bad to the extent that some people will be so desperate that they will say, Ya Allah, take us out of here, even if you throw us in the fire. It'll be that bad. We just want to get out of this place at any cost. Even if you take us and throw us to the fire, we'll be happy and content with that. Even if that's going to be the destiny we're flying. But just get us out of this place. That's how desperate people will get. And then after the passage of such a humongous, unbelievable, unimaginable amount of time, then the judgment will start. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask every single human being, from the time of Adam to the time of the very last soul, about every single second of your life. How much time will that take? Okay, alhamdulillah, finally the process started. There it is. And they called Adam alayhi salam. Okay, and it's like going to the DMV and taking a number. And your number is, 5 with 500 zeros next to it. Okay, that's your number. And you're just waiting. Okay, alhamdulillah. Who's next? Number 15. That's it, 5 years later. So you keep waiting and waiting and waiting, right? For everybody before you that was created before you to be judged and asked. Sisters, the passage of time itself is torture. Okay? And everybody will have to experience that, good and bad. Alright? And after all of that, okay, your time has come, and now you're standing before Allah, and you're being asked, and you end up from the people of the hills. Wouldn't that suck? So after all of this time, right, you're standing on the hill watching everybody else after you to be judged. And after everybody is judged, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will deal with Ashab al-A'raf at the very end. Not only that, after the people of the fire go into the fire, and people of Jannah go into Jannah, right? And everybody settles down, and you're still outside. Do you understand how difficult this is? And that is basically part of the experience that you have to go through because you did not get your act together in the life of this world. And alhamdulillah, what we're thankful for is that Allah will still forgive those people. But just the fact that you're forgiven and you're going to go to Jannah doesn't mean that you don't have to experience that terrible experience, for years and years, just watching and waiting. Okay? So I just wanted to give you a little piece of what that really means and feels like. So, going back to our main point here, we need to seek the Jannah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through a short and easy way. Again, I'm not talking about people that are not even taking Islam seriously. These people are in a very, very bad shape. We feel sorry for them, we have to help them, okay? But we need at least to secure our own safe passage to Jannah first. We have to make sure that inshallah we have a good shot at this before we help other people. So this doesn't concern people that are drinking and sleeping around. It doesn't concern them. They're gone. Unless they seriously do something about it, they're gone. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about people that care to come to this lecture, people that really take Islam seriously. Okay? That is what's so important to us. So, like I asked you before, it is perhaps a better investment to try to fill the time that just passes with absolutely no meaning. The neutral time that doesn't count either against us or to our benefit. How can we do that? Because technically what I'm saying right now is that we need to turn every single activity into an act of worship. How can that be? I need to make a case to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that when I speak to my sister on the phone, that counts as an act of devotion, and it'll go towards my record as a positive thing, as a white page, not a blank page. How can you do that? That's like, that's like math. How can you do that? Just saying Bismillah before?
Salaam alaikum.
Just saying Salaam alaikum. So before I start eating, I say Salaam alaikum?
Just the intention that it's for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The intention. Okay? The sister here said the intention. And I want you to think of it this way. If you pray, and your prayer obviously is an act of devotion, if you pray and your intention is not for the sake of Allah, would it count?
No.
No. With the same token, any mundane activity can actually count if you have a true, sincere intention about it. But still, the thing is, how can we turn such, frivolous activities like going to the movies, how can we turn that into an act of worship? Can I get some ideas? That's your challenge, sisters, and I cannot overemphasize this part. That's the only chance for you to have a pretty good shot at Allah's Jannah. That's the only chance you have. Because whatever you do is obviously not enough. Whatever I do is obviously not enough. There has to be some other maneuver, there has to be some other trick that will maximize our chances, and that is it right there. Okay? How can we turn those mundane activities with a good intention, right? Because good intention is a very, it's a wide open word. What does it really mean, good intention? And let us focus on one specific example. How can you turn going to the movies into an act of devotion and you actually get hasanat for it?